Hello, Barendipitous here. Welcome to Legend Lore Chat, Episode 1, focused on Bödvar. Now, today is a very special day for Bödvar because this video is being released on April 30th, 2024, which is exactly 10 years, according to Brawlhalla.wiki.gg, the fan wiki of the general fan wiki for Brawlhalla. Today, April 30th, is the 10th birthday or anniversary of Bödvar's release. So, happy birthday, happy 10th birthday to Bödvar. That's absolutely crazy. The next few videos will also celebrate the 10th birthdays of the next few legends. And I do also want to kind of point out that even though it's technically the 10th birthday of of Bödvar and the first few legends, it seems that the developers of Brawlhalla consider 2024 to be year 9 for Brawlhalla. I think they started the official count for how old Brawlhalla as a game is in open beta in the November of 2015, I think, or something like that. So 2025 will be the 10th year of Brawlhalla in general, because 2020 was the 5th year of Brawlhalla. Still feels like that was only last year, but time messed up with all of our minds at that time. But anyway, yes. Legend lore chat. Let's move on to it. So as I said in the introduction, I'm gonna go over Bödvar's lore, and then I'm gonna play a few matches of ranked matches of Bödvar while talking a bit about some other connections and context about him. So let's move on to the game itself. So here we go. Oops, my apologies. There we go. Yep, perfect. It's working. All right. So we're the best place to find the lore, in case you don't know. If you go over there to right above the store is Meet the Legends, is where you can see all the various stats and everything. And then if you go to a particular legend, you'll see 3 buttons on the bottom there. There's Overview, there's Lore, and then there's your career stats and everything. So, lore, here it is. Bödvar, the unconquered Viking, the Great Bear. I speak, you noble Vikings, of a warrior who surpassed you all. I tell of a great bear man who overcame giants and armies, and of how he came to leave our world and challenge the gods. The Saga of Bödvar Björnsson. First stanza. Listen, you 9-mothered bridge troll, I'm coming in, and the first beer I'm drinking is the one in your fist. Bödvar to Heimdall, guardian of the gates of Asgard. As the story goes, born of a Viking mother and bear father, Bödvar grew up feared and mistrusted by his own people. Bödvar's first nemesis was the terrible giant bear Grotnar, his own brother. By defeating Grotnar in a battle that lasted 7 days, Bödvar chose to side with humanity and became the protector of the people of the north. He led his Scandian people against the Witch Queen of Helheim, slew the White Dragon Sorcerer, and lived the life of an all-conquering hero. After he single-handedly ended the giant wars by trapping the Fire Giant King in his own volcano, Bödvar sensed his work was done. But he felt doomed to never be taken by the Valkyries to Valhalla because he could never manage to be defeated in battle. So he traveled to Asgard himself, broke down the doors, and let himself in. Valhalla is everything Bödvar hoped. An endless reward of feasting and fighting, with himself among its greatest champions. All right, so lots of really fun things there, and honestly, right from the get-go, that pretty much that formula that you see there is pretty much the formula that the Brawlhalla devs have stuck with the entire time. I do have a lot of Bödvar skins here, but I think it'd be fun. I could do the this base skin, the base skin here. I do have Metadev Bödvar. I think it's fun to do Gala Bödvar. We're celebrating his 10th birthday today. Why not? Let's do that. All right. Yeah, so just doing ranked 1v1s here. But yeah, so some fun things about his lore that I'll mention, and again, I'll just sort of be talking while you watch my average low to mid gold gameplay here. But anyway, yes. So his full name is Bödvar Bersin because the Scandinavian naming conventions are that like for boys they're called like their last name is their father's name and then son afterward. That's why you get like Thor Odin's son because Thor is the son of Odin. Bödvar is the son of a bear, so Bödvar Bersin, right? Always gotta read some lore before we start. They're doing the exalted lion salute. Very nice. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. Really cool. There's really cool a story that doesn't really. There's a really cool aspect of Bödvar which doesn't really get talked about very much. He basically had to choose between like his human nature and his sort of like his natural like bear nature. And this actually gets really, really cool and interesting when you consider the fact that now I could be wrong about this, but as far as I can tell, the word berserker, like berserker, like a barbarian, like 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 a warrior, like a warrior who rages or things like that. Berserker. If I'm not mistaken, berserker actually comes from an Old Norse phrase which means bear shirt, berserkir. And essentially the idea is that the berserkir would essentially wear bear hide to channel the spirit of that animal. And we see Bödvar very much doing that. Bödvar is, in pretty much every sense of the word, a berserker because with his signatures you see him channeling the spirit of a bear, right? He has that bear spirit, that sort of like bear spirit within him, so to speak. And so that's kind of where that like energy and that rage and power of a bear comes from, which is kind of cool because I'm fighting Tezca here who has like the power of a jaguar, which is kind of neat. Anyway, so yeah, some fun little historical context there. Bödvar is fairly well connected. He's mentioned in several other legends lore. For example, in Ember's lore, we see that Ember rescued a furious Viking who was lost deep in the Fangwild's heart. That pretty much has to be Bödvar. I can't really think of anyone else it would be. Because Bödvar would be a furious, raging Viking, being all frustrated. He can't get to Valhalla, and to get anywhere, you pretty much have to go through the Fangwild anyway, because that's the realm that connects all the other realms. So Bödvar, very, very pretty much is all but confirmed to have gone through the Fangwild, and Ember helped him navigate it to get to Valhalla. Bödvar was one of several legends who watched Orion crash into the field of Folkvanger when Orion arrived in a comet, right? So Bödvar witnessed that happening, and Bödvar insisted. It says in Orion's lore that he insists in present tense, but I'm pretty sure that's past tense now. He insists or insisted that Orion is Thor in disguise. Well, now that we have Thor in the game, Bödvar probably doesn't think that way anymore. Speaking of Thor, though, really fun connection. Bödvar is a huge Thor fan, right? He's just like I like to imagine that Bödvar is just like a huge fan of Thor. But also, we know that Thor is a fan of Bödvar. If you read Thor's lore, you'll see that Thor was one of the first people to wear a big foam Bödvar crown while in the stands. You know how if you go to a sporting event or something like that, there's like big foam hands or foam hats or things like that you can wear to show support for your favorite team. Well, I'm pretty sure that there apparently in Thor's lore it mentioned like foam crowns that look like Bödvar's hat, and Thor was one of the first people to wear that while in the audience. So they're I'm sure they're like best bros, right? Thor and Bödvar. Bödvar is very much like he just loves Valhalla. He loves everything Valhalla stands for, and Thor is very much in that same spirit as well. Bödvar is considered one of Bödvar has a bit of a connection with Nyx actually. I'm working on the battle pass, making good progress and all that. Ooh, cool! I got Mortimer, nice. Battle pass season 9. But anyway, let's see. I'll go with Metadub Bödvar now. Keep going. So Thor, let's see. Oh yeah, Nyx. I was talking about Nyx. So in Nyx's lore, it mentions that Nyx. So Nyx was led to Valhalla because she was chasing like the remnants of an old job, and that's a thing with Queen Nai or whatever. But she stays. That led her to Valhalla in the first place. But Nyx stays in Valhalla because she hopes to sort of cash in on some cold cases, like because she's aware that Valhalla is full of metaphysical rule breakers, rogue souls, and cosmological cold cases. And it actually mentioned a few of those. The mobster, which would be Cross, the Golden Knight, which would be Orion, and the Viking, which would be Bödvar. Now, why would Bödvar be a cosmological cold case or like a rogue soul? Well, because Bödvar walked into Valhalla himself. You're normally the only way a mortal is supposed to get into Valhalla is to be defeated in battle and to be invited there by a Valkyrie. And Valkyries, invite people to Valhalla because they were defeated in battle or they were impressive in battle or something. Defeated in battle is essentially the idea, like killed in battle. But that did not happen to Bödvar because he's just that good. He's so good that he just would not lose, and so he wanted to go to Valhalla so badly that he went there himself, and that kind of breaks the metaphysical rules a little bit, doesn't it? So that's why Bödvar would be a cosmological cold case that Nyx would maybe want to cash out on if possible. But I imagine that maybe this is not confirmed, but I like to think that maybe Nyx is like, even if Bödvar did die in battle, I suppose he's kind of where he's supposed to be anyway. I wish I could have cashed out on that, but whatever. Maybe that's why nothing has happened on that front. Let's see, what other connections do they have? So in Queen Nai's lore, Queen Nai says, your notion of Ragnarok isn't that far off. You just lack the bigger picture. And it says that Queen Nai was saying this to a very confused Bödvar, because Bödvar is basically listening and like, I don't know what you're talking about. Whatever. Welcome to Valhalla. Bödvar is also one of the few legends deemed worthy of direct address by Lord Vrax. Lord Vrax only cares about like royalty or like very important or impressive people, because Vrax is just incredibly egotistical and megalomaniacal, whatever, however you say that. Also, Bödvar was the one who welcomed Wushang into Valhalla, but Wushang is just like, this is not the end. I still seek enlightenment, blah, blah, blah. And Bödvar, and so it's kind of like a cold reply to Bödvar's welcome to Valhalla. And I think that's all the connections I can think of. Oh, wait, yeah, there's a brief connection with Mako. In Mako's lore, Mako says, "You think your parents are strange? Mine is because Bödvar's parents are a Viking mother and a bear father, right? But Mako's parents are the Ocean and Poseidon, aka Thatch. Mako is just kind of like, oh, you think your parents are weird? Let me tell you about mine. So yeah, Bödvar, very much the poster boy of Brawlhalla, for very good reason. He's the standard Viking. He's like, of all the people in Brawlhalla, he's like the one guy you would expect to be there, and it's awesome. And he's just like, I imagine he just talks to lots of people to varying degrees of success. And yeah, let's see, any other sort of like connections. So in his lore, it mentions the Witch Queen of Helheim. I have to assume that's the goddess Hel, Hel, who is in charge of Helheim. Hel is actually one of Loki's children, at least in traditional Norse mythology. And I have to assume that might be the same here. But in any case, the goddess Hel is also mentioned in Diana's lore, because the Queen of Helheim is just kind of like when Diana was like stuck in Helheim for like 11 days and the queen like kicked her out or something like that. I can talk about that more in the video about Diana. But yeah, so there's that. There we go. Let's see. What else? Giants are mentioned. I mean, giants and like fire giants are definitely a part of like classic Norse mythology. In general, generally when it comes to like Norse mythology, the Brawlhalla devs pretty much stick pretty close to classic Norse mythology unless they want to deviate from it. The best example of them deviating from it is basically Loki and Terminus. But for most other cases, they just kind of like, oh yeah, this is in Norse mythology. Let's use that. Why not? So there's that. Let's see. Anything else? It's, you know, when I make these videos, I do have like notes on my other monitor to like try to help me remember to not miss anything, but it's very possible that I'll probably miss something here or there, right? And if I ever do, that's what the comment section is for. I'm always happy to continue the discussion in the comments. But yeah, after, I guess I'll pretty much conclude after this match here. Hopefully I win. Now that I'm kind of trying to focus a little more. Hammer is one of my best weapons. Boom! There we go. Ah, yes. Yeah. That felt good. Well played. Marvelous. Okay. But yeah, there you go. That is Bödvar. Oh, I did not mention. So you'll notice that Bödvar has a... actually, you know what? One more match with like the default skin for Bödvar. All right, there we go. So Bödvar has, so the O in his name has the two dots above it. That's called an umlaut. O with an umlaut. That's what it is. The announcer guy in Brawlhalla says Bödvar. Like you hear it like he says Bödvar. Like very much, you know, the developers of Brawlhalla are American developers, so you know it makes sense that pretty much anything would be spoken in a, you know, in an American dialect. But the O with the umlaut, I could be wrong. People can correct me in the comments if they want, if they so desire or need to. But I believe the O with an umlaut is more of a sound. Like you kind of make a sort of like an E, like kind of like you purse your lips, like you're saying R or something like that. But you're making a O sound with the like so it's more like Bödvar is how it should sound. Bödvar Bersen. I might be exaggerating it a little bit, but yeah. I believe that's like a part of like, you know, Norwegian or Scandinavian pronunciations or something. But yeah, there you go. Bödvar Bersen, if you want to be like really like linguistically technical about it. But obviously everyone says Bödvar and it's fine. And I'm sure Bödvar wouldn't mind either. He's just happy to be in Valhalla. He's a simple man, right? He's in Valhalla. He's happy. He's in the best heaven possible. I got gimped right there. That's fun and cool. Let's see. Anything? Yeah, just whenever I can. I'm looking over my notes here while I'm getting absolutely destroyed by this Artemis. Right? There we go. Okay. Bödvar very likely lived in like the, you know, what we know of as the Viking Age. When it comes to like time on Earth, I generally assume normal Earth history unless otherwise proven. Like obviously the like the version of Earth in Brawlhalla, in the Brawlhalla universe and Brawlhalla fiction is very different. There are werewolves and vampires and aliens and whatever and things like that. But in general, it seems to mostly follow normal history unless otherwise proven. So, you know, if you want a sort of like a timeline of when Bödvar might have actually lived before reaching Valhalla, the Viking Age, as far as I can tell, is basically 790 to 1066 AD. Ended with the Battle of Hastings in 1066 AD. Anglo-Saxons and all that. So that's the Viking Age right there. Let's see. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I like Bödvar a lot. He's a fun character. Like, sure, you know, he's quite basic as far as a Brawlhalla character goes, but he's still quite fun. Like, there's lots to love about his lore and just like how, you know, Brawlhalla is just silly fun, but it's serious to the characters. To the characters, it's serious business, but to us, the audience reading it, it's wacky and silly. And I love that. Every aspect of Brawlhalla, from its visuals to its music to every aspect of its design and gameplay, is just this serious silliness. And I love that. And the lore is absolutely no different. Let's see if I can beat this Artemis here. I know, though, although although being like low to mid gold is technically very much average. Like I'm, you know, I'm not terrible, but I'm not great at the game in general, as far as like the whole player base goes. When it comes to like the active online player base for Brawlhalla, the people who are very active in the online community, I know a good chunk of them are like platinum and diamond. So when it comes to other people who are active in the online community with Brawlhalla, I'm a bit on the lower end of skill, and I'm okay with that. I'm just having fun, and at least I'm a Valhalla level lore master, and apparently good enough to beat that Artemis. So there's that. I have that going for me. Oh, they want a rematch. Why not? Why not? Usually when I do rematches, I play my best character, Scarlet, but this time we'll go with Bödvar. Let's go with Bödvar here. This would be like, you know, Bödvar in like bear form or something. Why not? We're doing all these sort of like lore skins, or like, you know, celebratory skins and things like that. But yeah, and they're sticking with Artemis. Okay, excellent. This video is going a little longer than I expected it to, but you know, why not? With the whole rematch thing, why not? Okay, first I gotta read some lore here. Yeah, Bödvar Bearson. Okay, cool. Yep. I like the gimmick of this stage. It's very fun. Something we've never really seen before this stage came along with the release of Battle Pass Season 9. The fact that the stage falls apart little by little. I like their signatures. Artemis has certainly has some very unique signatures that can take some getting used to at times. There we go. Not sure what you were trying to do there. Now I know some people might see this taunt here, this emote here as toxic, but I'm just having fun. Like, I don't care. I don't think ill of this person, of this player at all. Even if they might think ill of me for using that emote. But again, it's like the only emote that has like a book, and books and libraries are like kind of my thing. It's part of my like part of my sort of I guess aesthetic, my jam, you know, lore and all that, right? Even though it says you on it, maybe I'm reading about Artemis's lore. The legend lore chat about Artemis will be, of course, would be later down the road, as long as I can keep up with this series. But yeah, Artemis, Mary Washington, yes, from New York. You like your favorite kind of ice cream is your favorite flavor of ice cream is strawberry. Just kind of whip those lore facts out during a battle, right? Those are all true lore facts, by the way. Her real name actually is Mary Washington. She actually was born in New York, and it is confirmed that her favorite flavor of ice cream is strawberry. Why we know her favorite flavor of ice cream as opposed to, like, you know, other people's favorite flavor of ice cream, I don't know. It's in her lore. Don't ask me. Ask the devs. I'm not the one who wrote the lore. I just study it. I just study it and know about it. I'm just the researcher. I'm not the one who wrote it. I'm just the scholar here. Oh, that was close. There we go. I like psyching people out, like kind of like, you know, going one way instead of another or something like that. Oops. Don't want to get overconfident. Like what I was just doing there. Oh, yes, nice. Not quite. No problem. I have 1 stock left. Alright, Bödvar Bearson. No, but if I had hit that, though, I was nowhere close. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, you're not recovering from that. Perfect. I won more often than I thought I would, if I'm being honest. Anyway, there we go. I also happen to be decent. Like, hammer is one of my best weapons, so, you know, starting off fairly strong there. But yeah, there we go. That's Bödvar Bearson, the legend lore chat about Bödvar Bearson. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, all the best.